Josh from Alter Ego Comics in Lima, Ohio. Welcome to Alter Ego's Bazaar of the Bazaar, where I tell you about this week's coolest new game releases, the things I'm most excited about. Let's kick it off with the obvious one. Heroclix has a new expansion set out this week. It is The Superior Foes of Spider-Man. We've got a full booster set with 5-figure boosters, as well as the now traditional token and dice pack. I know these are dumb. I know on a fundamental level that they are dumb, but I keep buying them because I keep needing dice with little hero logos on them because I have a problem, and they make me happy. Plus the action token things are pretty handy as well. And a very cool Fast Forces featuring Spider-Man's greatest enemies. So we've got Peter, and then J. Jonah Jameson, Green Goblin, Kingpin, Doc Ock, and Venom. And Spider-Man has one of those new web FX, Heroclix effects things and a mechanic that uses it on his base, which is very cool. WizKids just makes a bunch of really cool stuff, and this is just in time. Yesterday was Spider-Man Day. It was the 54th anniversary of the release of Amazing Fantasy 15, so just in time. Plenty of cool Heroclix Spidey stuff. The other side of the aisle, a slightly belated new in stock for the Pathfinder Horror Adventures book. Pathfinder is really good at making cool supplements. They do a great balance of adding class stuff for the different classes, so we get archetypes for a lot of different classes, from your original core classes like Druid and Paladin, Rogue, Cleric. We get a Cleric in here who's charisma based, which makes Josh happy all over because charisma based gels really well with a lot of classes I like to play. But we also get, archetypes for later classes, stuff like the Investigator from the, whatever book the Investigator came from, the Advanced Class Guide. Or more recent stuff like the Vigilante from the Ultimate Intrigue. So it's great that these secondary classes have the chance to get new flavor shoved into them and more exciting options, new ways to build. But there's also a lot of really cool rules for running horror campaigns. Something like Cthulhu-y, something Call of Cthulhu Mythos. There's rules for sanity in here for your characters going freaking nuts and being tempted by knowledge from beyond. As well as more traditional horror games, scary, ghosts, slashy, monstery stuff. So just really, really awesome. It's good for every table, whether you're the GM or the player. Lots of cool fun from them. Also awesome from Pathfinder this week. Brand new. All right, we're going to get metatextual here for a second. I know that most people don't necessarily care about game companies as much as they care about the games they produce. But you maybe should, because if the company's not profitable, if the company's not holding its own, they're not going to keep making games you like. I really like Pathfinder, so I was a little concerned going into 5th edition. Pathfinder has been kind of dominating the RPG world for a couple years, mainly because D&D 4th edition was not super popular. Pathfinder was an obvious competition, and they make a really good product. They have the smart way with the adventure paths, great supplemental materials, good the flip maps. They make great materials that work across genre for different types of games. But coming into 5th edition, they ran into a bit of a problem where D&D just crushed them when 5th edition came out, which is obvious because Dungeons & Dragons in a lot of ways is role-playing. But their response, aside from continuing to make awesome stuff, is a lot of neat and innovative products. The neatest and most innovative, and in my opinion, the smartest move they could have done, the Pathfinder Core rulebook, now in a pocket size, if your pocket happens to be like 10 inches square. This is great. It is everything that's in your $50 awesome Pathfinder hardcover in a soft cover that is cheaper, smaller, fits better in a backpack. This is great. If you're running a group with a lot of people, it's not always fun to have to pass a core book around. Even if you have 2 or 3 copies of a core book, it's not going to be enough for all the players. These are cheap enough that everybody can own them. They're also a great entry point for new players. Now remember, as opposed to D&D, where you need a Dungeon Master's Guide and a player's handbook to get anywhere in the game, in Pathfinder, everything you need is in this volume. They make a Game Master Guide. I'm honestly not even sure if it's still in print, but it's entirely secondary. There's a lot of cool optional stuff in there, but it's not needed to run the game. Everything you need to run a game of Pathfinder is in this book. So $25, half the price of one D&D book, or a quarter the price of the 2 D&D books you need to play D&D. This is brilliant. This is awesome. I have bought many role-playing games in my life, many supplements for those role-playing games, and I have occasionally regretted buying books. I have never, ever, ever regretted buying an additional copy of a core book that I play a lot, because it's just better to have around. It makes it easier for more people to look up rules, more people to do level ups. It's a great product, and I'm thrilled that it exists now. So good job, Paizo. Pathfinder's still awesome. Next up from Gamewright, we've got a couple of cool games in their, what do they call this line? The Cardventures. These are basically choose-your-own adventures designed into a quick card game. Time play is about 15 minutes or less if you die faster, because we all know how choose-your-own adventures work. You can play by yourself with one person. You can play with multiple people working together to make the choices. They are great and cool and flavorful. I will give you a quick rundown of how they work here. So Gamewright has two different Cardventures out this week. We've got Stowaway 52, which is a sci-fi alien romp, and Jump Ship, which is pirates, which is like the most popular theme in games ever, I swear. Gamewright makes a lot of really cool products that are good for kids and adults. You can play them with kids, or you can play them with your friends. You know, they've got other games that I played. How awesome is this box, by the way? It's got the slidey drawer thing. Everything stays in place. I don't drop everything everywhere. I like it. Good work, Gamewright. All right, so the first thing we got in here, we've got a rules card. It tells you how to play the game. We've got the endings card. You don't want to look at those, obviously. It's like a choose-your-own adventure. And just like a choose-your-own adventure, almost all the endings are bad. Your playing in here is scored based on the number of points based on the choices you make. And only a perfect score will get you what I would consider a good ending. So go team there. So you just take these guys out, throw them in 4 different piles, pick one, start reading from it. So, you emerge in the engine room of the alien ship. This is a great place to wreak some havoc. The console in front of the generator is a large dial with a slot for a key card. And then you've got two choices. You can choose to turn down the power dial, or you can choose to use a yellow key card. Now, since this is the first card I've drawn, I haven't picked up a yellow key card. So I'm going to have to go with the first choice, which is purple number 12. Grab your purple deck, search for number 12, which seems like it would be incredibly inefficient, but it's actually not that bad. Alright, so now we have moved into a dimly lit engine room. You can see a bright corridor on the other side of the generator, and there's an elevator behind you. It's always a good idea to look before you leap. Very solid advice. So let's say I head down the corridor because I'm foolhardy. It means I need red 2. Which gets me... you enter the corridor, lights are flicking. It alternates from pitch black to blindingly bright. When you can see, you move along the corridor until you come across a pair of loose wires hanging from the ceiling. Do I want to reattach the wires? Of course I do. I don't know why I'm helping repair this alien ship, but it seems like the sort of thing that might advance the story. And what is this? Reattach the wires is green 7. You can feel the ship turning and start to move downward. Down always feels right in space, despite the fact with no gravity there's no up or down. There's nothing to move from here, time to move on. I'm sorry, nothing more for you here, time to move on. So I can go through the large nearby doorway or head into the main hallway. The main hallway sounds scary, so let's go with the doorway of blue 3. You know, a very small room with shelves of every shape and size. All sorts of important alien stuff must have been stored here once. Now only 2 boxes remain. Hopefully each contains an item that you can use when the option first presents itself. Open a small box or a big box. I've been under the impression that good things come in small packages, so let's look for purple 4. Item! Score! You find a computer sphere. It's covered with several circuits and lights. While examining it, you hear something. Alien voices headed your way. You should secure yourself a hiding place. Now, item cards go off to the side because I have them and I can use them. Later, something might come up and say, you need to use the computer sphere. Then I use the computer sphere and do stuff. All right, so this goes on until you either run to an actual conclusion or you get to a point where you have to go to a card you've already gone to. At that point, the game ends. You total up how many points total you have between your item cards and your story cards, and then you look up your success. Now, obviously, because we didn't play all the way through here, I get the worst success, which is probably death. You feel like you're going in circles and you can't seem to find your way to any useful part of the ship. You end up sliding down a pile of filth. This is the trash chute. Just before you pass out from the stench, an alarm sounds and the trash starts sinking below you. I got Captain Phasmid. It's a good feeling. But this is neat. It's a cool concept. There's a lot of cool different thematic stories and different ones. You can play back through trying to find the ultimate series of choices to get you the full playthrough, the full 300 points, the big win, the good ending. I just like it. It's cheap. I think these retail for $9.99. It's evocative. You do have to be able to read to play, but any kid that can read should be fine. I mean, none of the words are super complicated. I like it. I think it's cool. I mentioned just a minute ago that Pathfinder makes flip mats, which are an awesome accessory. They're really great for adding ambiance. You know, they have fully decorated, decked out cool maps that you can customize with dry erase markers and wet erase markers, and they're great. I love them. I use them almost constantly. I use them borderline exclusively up until now. The great and unholy problem with flip mats is even when you get them folded out completely flat, the creases don't necessarily lay flat. I've worked mine to the point where they should lay flat, but they won't. There's always going to be that little lip there, and it annoys me to no end. It also makes lighter minis unbalanced, shift to the wrong point, and it makes the whole point of a tactical game is I can tell where everything is. If things move, it's a problem. It's no longer tactical. Still an amazing product. Still one of my favorite things ever. But now we've got a new contender. If you've ever played a game like one of the Dungeons and Dragons adventure games, they've got like 4 of them. They use the interlocking tiles, or Star Wars Imperial Assault also uses interlocking tiles, which are super awesome. Dungeon Tiles has put out these cool guys. They are the same way, dry erase, wet erase. You interlock them, and they do all sorts of cool stuff. For example, all right, these dungeon tiles are actually really cool. It solves some problems that I was having, and it makes life easier. So you get a 5-inch tiles, and then you've also got 10-inch tiles. And this gives you versatility, of course. They are double-sided. So for example, if you wanted to have a room with secret stuff, so for example, your party, I don't know, I'm a terrible artist, so this was not the best thing for me to demo. They come in a door over here, there's a column, there's a button, and then when they flip the button, now there's a big hole in the floor. You can have reversible stuff. No, you probably can't see that with the angle. Doesn't matter. Dry erase, wet erase, you marker on them, all you like, and then it comes right off. I love that. We're living in the freaking future, just so everybody knows. I'll erase this side too, because I'll forget and then it'll be on there for 3 years. So, I like that you can structure really big spaces with them. I like that you can structure irregularly shaped spaces with them. You know, maybe we want to have a connecting corridor here. We've got entryway, and then there, and then they have to come across into a bigger door. You can run, one thing I always like is you can run them for chases. I love flip mats, but one of the problems is sometimes I don't need the whole flip mat. I need a small area, maybe just this big, or even just this big, or maybe a 5x10 room. And if I fold up a flip mat like that, it's going to bow, and it's going to be hard for the miniatures to stay down flat. These lay perfectly flat because of their weight. They lock together to keep from moving about too much. And one really cool feature is you can use them to run chases. So my guys are chasing the bad guys, let's say this way, and they run to the edge of the map. Well, we're already out of this area. I just add another tile to the end and keep sliding. So eventually we just recycle the ones from the back, and you can run a chase kind of indefinitely without needing a massive map. You know, every time, oh, now you've got, there's an apple cart. It's a guy named Pele's running it. Hi guys, and yeah, and they got to run past Pele. But so dungeon tiles are cool. They're cool. That's all I've got. I like them. They lock together. They're sturdy. They're erasable. They're everything I want in a customizable tile. And those are packaged in 3 different ways you can get them. You've got them in a all big squares, which I believe are 10 inches on a side, or all small squares, which are 5 inches on a side. Or, my personal preference, the combo pack, where you get a mixture of both 10 and 5 inches, gives you a lot of variety, allows you to do small connecting passageways between your bigger rooms, and it's just really cool and fun. So good on you, Dry Erase Dungeon Tiles. I guess the company's probably called just Roll It for Initiative, but the product's called Dungeon Tiles. I just like to throw Dry Erase in there so you know they're Dry Erase. Oh, maybe you can't wet erase those. No. Okay, compatible with either Dry Erase or Wet Erase, but they're called Dry Erase Dungeon Tiles. I have problems, people. Anyway, that is what's awesome in games this week. So have a good time, play more games. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. As always, if you like the video, like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss the next adventure. Take care.